Uh, sure. Essential Groove. I actually get asked this question a lot. I actually started many years ago.
Mm.
Um, yeah, Essential. Like my DJ name was actually DJ Byron back in the day. Um, and I'm talking like 2001 to like 2006 era. And then a friend of mine actually like came to me and wanted to do events with me. So he's like, "What we're going to call our events company?" So yeah, so he came up with yeah. So we're trying to figure out a name. So like, he came up with the Essential Funk, and I'm like, "No, we can't use that because it's already a household funk." So yeah, I came up with the groove part of the name, and we did events for quite a few years under the name Essential Groove. And then obviously, yeah, he left overseas, and then in 2010, I changed my name from DJ Byron to basically Essential Groove, and then yeah, that's just been me ever since. So yeah,
Wow. My other question to you is, what's your favorite?
sure. Struggling to hear you. Sorry, what was that?
Uh, what's your favorite part of playing violin? Can you hear me now?
Playing vinyl.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, vinyl's where it all started, you know. My journey with music started with vinyl. I've been playing, I still have all my vinyls. Um, if you go through, like, I got this huge vinyl collection at home that I'll never get rid of because I just love it. So it like just reminds me of where my journey began. So yeah, I've got so many of my favorite tracks on there that like no one else has. That's the thing about vinyl. Like, you could have them a track that no one else has, and
Mm.
yeah, that's what makes it so special. You know. So yeah, um,
Okay. My other question to you is, how what experience have you what you learned about the music you would work towards, if that makes
she's
yeah.
yeah, yeah. I'm struggling to hear you. I don't know why.
Okay. Uh, okay. Can you hear me now? Hi.
Okay, let's try that. Try that again.
Hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Sure. All right. So as I was saying, what advice would you have for today's artists?
Yeah, I think like if you're just starting out, it's a very different industry to when I started back all those years ago. I think you got to remain humble is the number one thing in this industry, and like just have that connection with your crowd, and always like go support other artists, go support all the events that you can, because that's how you can get your foot in the door. It's no good just being a talented DJ and just playing to yourself at home. You got to go out there and make contacts, make friends with people, and just yeah, just connect with people. That's what I would definitely my advice to an up and coming artist would be.
My other question to you is, if you could create a track that describes the kind of artist you are, what would you add? What elements would you add?
Yeah, so actually, I have produced a few tracks over the years. I've got a few aliases that not many people know about. One of them being called The Feds. It was quite big in that whole jacking fidget era of the 2010s. Yeah, so I think because I play such a diverse, you know, so diversely in terms of genres. Like it's difficult for me to say what elements I would add. But in the early years, like I definitely love that organ house sound. That's probably definitely an element I would add to my productions. So yeah, thanks.
My other question to you is, what would you tell? Sorry, what would you tell today? What would you what ex like what what's your process like when you're creating for a set or in general for any event or something like that? What
Yeah,
do you
so
look
okay, so unless it's like a genre specific kind of festival, like it's like a hip hop festival, or Afrotech or techno, whatever it is, um, I kind of come prepared with a bit of everything, and for me, I walk through the crowd, I see what kind of crowd is there, and I'll play to make the people happy. And if one direction is not working, I'll go another direction. So yeah, it really just depends on the crowd that's there on the night. But like I said, if it is a genre specific kind of festival, then I would plan a set, from track 1 to track 20, whatever I'm playing. Um, so yeah, that's where I would go with that. Thanks.
for? My other question to you is what 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 ex- what from where you started to now, how has your sound developed, and what have you learned from that, from all your experiences? What two things have you learned from that, from how you've grown to now, the artist that you are to now, if that makes sense?
Yeah. So I mean, when I started this journey, I would say I was a bit narrow-minded. I call it tunnel vision. I only like played one genre of music, like I was deep house. That was it. Nothing else existed, you know. And then yeah, years later, I think I got this residency at this more like mainstream place, and that's when I diversified into all the stuff I play today. So like yeah, I think what makes me, yeah, it just broadens your horizons, to listen to all kinds of music and not just one, if that makes sense. So yeah, hopefully that answers your question.
So my other question to you is, if if you could collaborate with anybody besides the friends you have and everybody, like, who would it be and why, and what would you what experience would what yeah, that's the question.
Okay, collaborate in terms of like producing a song, or in terms of
Both,
yeah,
both.
in terms. Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, I mean, there's so many great artists out there. I mean, I know in the early days we brought over some internationals from London, Birmingham, all over the place. And yeah, we did collab on with some of those artists, and we did a few tracks with them, and we hosted parties with them, and yeah, we really we did some good things back then. And I think yeah, like in the last few years, I haven't really been doing a lot of my own events. I actually want to get more into that again. So yeah, there's so many to mention. Yeah, actually, so many so many artists to mention.
To go to that, right?
Yeah.
Like, what elements make three elements that make a great event in general? So what makes, like, the money go in, or like income, or like people into your event that make your event special, if that makes sense?
Yeah, I think it's all the parties involved. You got to have the venue needs to play the ball, play a ball game, with you, the owners of the venue. Yeah, I think promoters are important in this day and age to get the word out there, because I think social media now it's very difficult, because it's so expensive, and you got to like basically spend money for people to see your stuff. But yeah, in terms of making a great event, I think the sound, the production itself is very important. I've been to some events where, like the sound is just not there, it's not it. And also the curation of the DJ lineup itself. You can't have the opening DJ blasting out like electro or whatever it is, like bang, 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 and leaving nothing for the main floor DJ, or the main sets or whatever. It's got to be a progression at the end of the day, and that's what makes a good event. Like otherwise, people are tired. They're tired at 8 o'clock at night. and they just want to go home to bed at 9 o'clock at night, you know. So yeah, like it's got to be a progression, and you know, got to keep the people interested until the main act arrives and does his thing, you know. So yeah, that's how I would say is a good event.
Is what makes a great headliner in that sense? Like, since you have so much experience, if that makes if yeah, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, you know, you look at some of the parties that have come out recently, like the Kind Musics and all those kind of things. Like, I think fantastic headliners, you know. But the support lineup is, you know, is equally as important. You know, probably even more important because that's leading up to the headlining act. People know they're there to see the headliner, but like they don't want to be chased away by the supporting lineup. You know. But yeah, there's actually such big things coming and happening, you know, in the scene. You know, a lot of big things. Ultrafest happening now in 2 weeks' time. Yeah, there's some really cool artists that people are bringing out, and it's cool to see the scene progressing and not just becoming just like a go to the same clubs every weekend, if you know
Yeah.
what I mean. So yeah,
Okay. Um, my other question to you, since you do finance for a living,
yeah.
so I have to do my research. So, so what is your advice in the sense of for up and coming artists to finance themselves in the sense of how to build how to integrate to the industry in this, like, do they, what should they do, and how do they in the financial sense,
Okay,
like.
so yeah, like I think I get what you're trying to ask there. Yeah, so you know, I think yeah, like especially if you're just DJing for a living, like you know, you don't know if like COVID's going to come hit you and then you're without at work for 2 years.
Yeah.
You know, so I think it's important not to, you know, get story hours if you make a bit of money at an event or a gig or whatever the case is. And you need to, yeah, you need to invest it in, and you're an adult. You know what I'm saying? You can't, you know, you can't act like, you know, you got to look to the future because who knows how long you're going to do this for. I've seen so many DJs come in for a year or two, they become big names and they disappear, you know. So yeah, like you got to think long term. If it is a career for you, you got to think long term and where you're going with it, and you got to save for that, if you know what I mean. So yeah, that's my advice on that question. Thanks.
Uh, That's insane. Um, that's insane in the sense of, wow, yeah, because I didn't expect to ask that question, but it was there. My other question to you is, if you were stuck in an island and you could only like bring like 10 tracks with you that define the artist that you are. I know it's a bit tricky, but just try. If that define the legend that you are, that solidifies Essential Groove, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
I know.
yeah. I mean, I don't know if I could be stuck on the island of the same 10 tracks playing over and over again. Um,
Or
yeah, but I get what you're trying to ask. Like, what are my 10 favorite tracks, basically? Yeah, it's such a difficult question. Like, you know, it's easy to ask someone who only plays techno, you know, what are your 10 favorite techno tracks, you know? But like, for me, I play everything, you know, everything. So, like, I got to pick something from everything, you know? So, yeah, it is a bit difficult. But I mean, if you ask me this question, you know, back in the day when I started playing, um, I see people are commenting here. Layabouts, Kissing Strangers, nice, good tune. Starlight, very cool tune. Yeah, people getting involved here. Yeah, keep it going. um, yeah, I mean, I love my class. I love bringing nostalgic value, you know. So the classics always go down with me. Um, you know, like Louis Austin, Hoping, Robin S. Show Me Love, obviously. Chris Lakewood. Oh, geez, I can go on and on. I'm just thinking about the vinyls I've got. Yeah, but there's just so many. There's so but to pick 10 out of like millions of tracks. It's very difficult, you know. Yeah, and to listen to them over and over again for for the rest of my life, it's gonna be tough, So yeah,
Um, my other question to you is what does love mean to you in the sense of music? In the sense of I know this wasn't part
yeah,
of the question,
yeah.
trying to make it interesting. Yeah, if that makes sense. What does love to you mean to you in music? In the sense of music, if that makes sense.
Look, I mean, you must understand, music's been my life. I mean, it's been in my life for more than all my life, basically. More than half my life, I've been involved. I've been a DJ. I mean, if I go back and look at it, so yeah, I mean, I grew a huge love for music, and I think without that love, you can't be a DJ. You can't be an artist. You can't. I mean, you can't do anything without that love for it. So it's important. I mean, I've seen your stories. I've seen how much you love music, you love techno, you love DJing. And yeah, like that's the only way you can be a DJ is if you love music. You can't hate music and be a DJ. It's impossible. You know what I'm saying? It's like being a deaf DJ. You can't be a deaf DJ. So yeah, hope that answers your question.
It really does because what so I think my other question to you is what ex- what like in the sense of you being the experience you've had and all the people you've met and everything you've done, what is the next what is the next step for the legend that is you,
Jeez, yeah, nah. Giving me a big head, yeah, I'm throwing that word around. But yeah, look, I mean, I actually did an interview with Pro Audio the other day, and they asked me pretty much that same question, like, what are you gonna, what's the next thing for you? And Dexter, you're the legend, by the way. I saw your comment there. Um, yeah, so yeah, the next thing for me. I would say is, I mean, I do want to carry on DJing for another few years. I love it so much. I love the scene. I love the people. I love meeting new people still, and I love, it's always been a part of me. I love going out every weekend. The late nights do get to me now, but yeah, I still love it. So yeah, I think I don't know. I guess I got to do what every other human does. You got to like settle down and start a family. What. But yeah, I do want to always be involved in the scene somehow. You know. That's what I really want to do after all is said and done. So yeah.
beautiful. Yeah, my other question to you is if you could play an instrument, what would it be and why?
Someone asked me this question a while ago, and I always tell the same joke. I'm like, yeah, I think I'm gonna play the triangle. Like just ding, ding, ding. Um, yeah, no, it's actually sure. You know, um, there's just so many instruments there I'd love to master. But I don't know at this stage of the game if I'm up to sitting and mastering an instrument. I'm just so busy. Yeah, besides the gigs or whatever, I got a day job, so I'm very, very busy. Like I wish I had time to sit and master an instrument, but it's just life just gets the better of me, I guess. So yeah, even the production, you're talking about production earlier. I mean, it's hard to find the time to sit and do it, and I love it, but it's really, really difficult to get to sit down and do it. And it is a full-time job. I mean, I look at my friends like, the Carl Watsons of the world and Blaze, Chanda Monkey, all these people. I mean, you can ask them. It's a full-time job to sit and produce music. It's you know, yeah, you late nights and early mornings, and it's crazy. So yeah, it answers that. I love these bonus questions you're throwing in here.
And I just had to be like, okay, well, we have to think out of the box here. Um, my other question to you is what has been the craziest experience while performing live, and what have you learned from that experience?
Jeez, I'll be honest with you, I think I can write a book on my whole experience of all the years I've been playing. I think I've got some crazy stories, of stuff that has happened, from shootouts to to all the crazy stuff. Um, but yeah, I mean, yeah, no, I've experienced some really hectic stuff in my and some really heartwarming stuff, like yeah. For me, I love going out and seeing Joy. You know, who Joy is obviously, yeah, and she's always at the front jamming there, and yeah, when you see her, and it just gives me inspiration that like, when I'm in my 60s, 70s, whatever, I'm still in the front, still partying. That's because I love it. I love partying. I love music. So yeah, maybe I'll be there, watching you play. And I'll be this old grandpa jamming in front of the, in front of, like jamming to your set, if you know what I mean. So yeah.
Absolutely. My second to last question, because I think we should let you go soon. Um,
You can
um,
carry on. I'll just be here the whole night. It's fine.
uh, my other question to you is, um, three people that you think up and coming artists should up and coming artists should look out for, that have helped you define music, that has helped you grow as an artist, if that makes sense.
Sure, yeah. I think the people I used to look up to aren't even in the industry anymore. So yeah, I can mention a few names here of the up and coming artists people should look out for, that are still around. I would say like, yeah, there's the guys doing the big festivals, the Ultra Fests and Sean DeVays and those kind of people. That's the people you need to look up to in terms of and then in terms of DJing itself, the DJs, there's a lot of DJs that the younger generation can look up to, and for me, like it's, you got to learn those old school ethics and old school habits, because I think there's a lot of, and I've heard this from other DJs, a lot of like arrogant DJs out there, that just come there, they don't even greet the next DJ, they don't even like it's just there's no need for that. Everyone, we're all in this for the love of music, and I think that's where it should be. That's where people need to just follow their hearts and follow the music. So yeah. Mm.
So, not your mouth. Not yeah. My other question, my last question to you is, what what is the greatest thing that you've learned about yourself and your art, um, within the whole period that you've been in the industry, and what have you learned from that experience, if that makes sense?
Yeah. So I mean, sure. One thing I have learned about myself is that I genuinely love this industry and don't ever want to leave. Um, I just every weekend, like when do have a weekend off, I'm just like, what do I even do with myself? Because I just feel like I get FOMO and I have to be somewhere. You know. So yeah, I think I genuinely do love it. I don't know what I'm gonna do with myself when I stop, but yeah, it's fun. It's fun doing this every weekend, and it's fun being out, and it's fun meeting new people, and it's fun talking to you. And the interview, yeah, and it's yeah, it's been an awesome journey. It really has, and it's taken me places I never thought I'd ever go to. I mean, I've DJed in the craziest places, and overseas, and yeah, it's been an awesome journey. So yeah.
A, a whole a whole inspiration. So for you to take the time to come and chat with me really, really means a lot to me, because I've 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 always looked up to what you do, and it's really inspirational.
Oh no, I really appreciate you. Like, thank you so much for having me. Like, it's an honor, honestly, for me to have a chat with you. And yeah, I really hope to see you soon out there and out and about. And yeah, I really want to see you beyond the decks. You know what I'm saying? Like, You know, I saw a few clips of you playing at Juice the other, for Leah's thing, and yeah, it's inspirational. You know, it's like it's awesome, and I really do wish you all the best in your journey as a DJ as well. So yeah, hope to see you very, very soon.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.